Welcome if you're joining me right now. I think time is up and I will be ready to start. Welcome you on your mats and welcome to CrossYoga. It is Christ-centered yoga that we're doing, and if the word Christ is like, uh-oh, what is that? Please just stay with me. What I will tell you about Christ or the Christian perspective, I'm quite sure that it will be something you can use also if you don't call yourself a believer. We use all the postures from whatever fitness center, gym that you might be using yoga in, so you will probably know the postures if you do yoga just in a regular gym. All right, get a comfortable seated position on your mat. As I'm always saying, it doesn't have to be exactly the way I am seated, but find your way of being seated. Try to straighten up your spine. And if you have been sitting all day, or if your head is just full of homeschooling, maybe just need to wriggle that off just a little bit. But then try to calm yourself, calm your breath, close your eyes. And you can even take one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, very gently, not pushing or anything. And as you inhale, you'll feel especially your belly expands. And as you exhale, it all kind of settles down again. Now try to feel if you also can lift up your chest, not your shoulders. As you inhale, really getting the whole of your lungs involved in your breathing. And this deep belly breath might not feel natural to you because this is not the way that we breathe normally. But if you take deep breath, and of course doesn't feel dizzy and all about it, it will calm your nervous system. It will calm your body. It's all physical. And one last big breath. All right. Now this is times where we're all a little bit confused and maybe worried about what's going on, what's going to happen. And of course we can bring this on our mats, and I believe God knows everything that's going on, even though we try to shield it so other people can't see it. But right now, let's be completely vulnerable and open. And if you want to take out your hand, it doesn't matter which one, and in there, put your worries or anxieties for whatever. You can close your eyes. And even if you're alone, you might mention it out loud just because it helps us. If you're with other people, just go inside and just speak it out, like picturing that you put this worry that you have in your hand. Okay? So let's do that, being quiet for a few moments. okay. If you're done, try to picture the worries that you have being like leaves in your hand. And we will blow these leaves away from us and towards God, and let God take and carry the things that we worry about, okay? So take a deep inhale and take a huge blow out through your mouth and just... And if it didn't work for the first time, do one more time. And maybe you picture the leaves just flying towards God and God picking them up, saying, I will carry you. I will be there for you, no matter what lies ahead. Beautiful. All right. Let's move on our mats. And if you have music that you want to play, worship music or something, I hope the sound is high enough for you to hear me. If not, I'm sure that this is just as much beautiful without music. So find your downward facing dog. Bend your knees. And maybe feel that your heavy burdens are lifted just a little bit. If they come back, you're always welcome to blow them out with a sigh. Very gently flowing from your downward facing dog to your plank. So inhale, come to your plank, shoulders, hands aligned, and exhale, downward facing dog. And keep moving with the pace of your breath. If you're used to using your jive breath, you are most welcome to do that. That's where you have a little bit of a sound, like a noisy exhale. Darth Vader exhale, some people call it. Keep moving, maybe rounding your spine as you move to the front. Using your core as you lift up your glutes and pushing your heels towards the mat. 2 more times. Now it's important that you follow your own pace, rhythm of your breath. Beautiful. Come to the front end of your mat. Letting go of your hands, whatever works for you. Taking a hold of your elbows and swaying from side to side. Because there's so much going on in our world today, I really would love us to focus on joy and happiness on our mats today. And as you come into standing pose, your mountain pose, remember that if you smile, your smile can also affect your emotions and your thoughts. So your thoughts doesn't have to allow you to smile. You can smile, and then maybe your thoughts will just get a little more happy. And I think that's the way God created us. So please smile on your mat. Smile to me, and just take it easy on your mat, okay? Take a deep inhale, lift your hands up, maybe smiling towards God, saying, thank you, God, that you take my worry. And exhaling as you forward fold. Rolling up your back, maybe you bent your knees a little bit, coming up. Huge inhale as you take your arms up. And exhale, moving forward. One more time, inhale, come up, arms out. And exhale, move forward. All right. Gonna do sun salutation, be at least one version to get our body heats going. So take an inhale, find your chair, and I'll do it a little bit slow the first time. Bend your knees, make sure knees and toes are somewhat aligned. And then come into a forward fold with a little bit of a bend in your knee. Relax your neck. Plant your hands down on the mat. Jump or walk your feet back to plank. On your feet or your knees, lower down. Vinyasa, it's called. And then lift up your chest a little bit. Baby cobra, downward facing dog. Tucking your toes underneath yourself. Maybe stepping your feet a little bit closer. Taking right leg, lifting your right leg up towards the sky, bending your knees, stepping right leg to the front end of your mat. Warrior 1. So the back foot turns a little bit out to the side, Look to the ground and lift up your hands towards the sky. Leaning your hip forward, closing your hip so that your hips are not moved out to the side, but to the front. Arms up. Beautiful. Huge inhale as arms go back down the mat. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, toes or knees lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Of course, opposite direction, left leg lifted up. Bent it, pointed underneath yourself to the front end of your mat. Knee and ankle above each other. Right leg points out to the side. You can have hip width apart with your feet. Closing your hip, lifting your arms up. Now let go of those shoulders. Take a deep inhale. Side it out, smile. Yes. God is here, love is here. Inhale, find your downward facing dog. Exhale, vinyasa once again. Inhale, plank. Lower down, exhale. Inhale, maybe you do an upward facing dog where your hip is lifted off the mat. Downward facing dog. Take a breath, staying in your down dog. Jump or walk to the front end of your mat. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, bending your knees, arms pointing a little bit forward. And then mountain pose. We're going to do this with the pace of our breath. So if we're going a little bit too fast, just skip some of the movements or just follow along as best you can. All right? Chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, plank to low plank. Elbows by your side. Inhale, go to your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg, inhale, lift you up. Exhale to the front end of your mat. Lower that back foot. Inhale, warrior one, closing your hip. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg, inhale, lift it up. Step it to the front end of your mat. Exhale, inhale, warrior one. And exhale, down dog. Find your vinyasa flow, inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up your chest, shoulders away from your ears, downward facing dog. Exhale, one big breath. Now you can do your vinyasa in between right and left leg, but I choose to not do it as we will have a lot of force on our hands. Exhale, forward fold, chair, inhale, and mountain, exhale. Catch your breath, 2 breaths. And then one last time, chair, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank, low plank. Smile as you lift up your chest, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Of course, right leg, inhale, lift up. Move it to the front end of your mat, exhale. Warrior one, inhale, lifting up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg, inhale, lift. Move it to the front end of your mat, exhale. Lower down that back foot. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, down dog. Vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Squeeze your core. Exhale, lower down. Gently and slowly inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Bending your knees maybe a little bit. Inhale, jump or walk to the front end of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Chair, inhale. And exhale, mountain pose. And let's stay here. Catch our breath. Now, is there anything to be joyful or happy about? Yes, I believe there is also in times like this. It all depends on where I place my happiness. Is it in my financial circumstances? Or is it in something that will never move or change? Like God, of faith? Everything can change, but God will stay the same. And I can trust Him. So maybe smile, and in your heart say thank you, that you stay the same, God. Doing a flow sequence, I will do some postures and then we'll repeat them, adding on some more postures, so we'll have a long, like, strings of pearls sequence at the end. Beginning with our arms up, I'll do it somewhat slow the first time, and taking our arms out to the side, leaning a little bit back, opening up your chest. Yeah, let me focus on what also during this time make me happy and give me maybe peace. Straighten your spine, arms up. Maybe gather your palms and then move forward. Straighten out your legs as much as you can to get that stretch on your hamstrings. Lower your head, forehead towards your knees. Awesome. Then lift up your chest a little bit. Walk your hands a little bit to the front of your mat and lift right leg, pushing your leg back, flexing your foot, closing your hip. Taking arms out to the side, if you can keep your balance, gaze on the ground and keep breathing. If you can keep your balance here, then lower down that right lifted foot, lunge pose, lifting back heel and bowing down the front knee, hands towards the sky. Gathering your palms in front of you and squeeze your palms a little bit together. Take your shoulders back, straight spine, at least for now. And then twisting. Right elbow, either mild twist on the inside of your thigh, on the out edge of your thigh. Though if you're pregnant, you can't do this. Then turn the other way around and face. Take the back towards your inner thigh. Beautiful. Hands down the ground, stepping left foot that is in front, back, three-legged dog. Hips closed, and try to see how low you can go with your heels on your right leg. And letting go, hands down the ground, or foot down the ground. Take your vinyasa flow or stay in your down dog. Inhale back. Exhale, lower down. If you want to keep your strength going, please take it down slowly. Inhale, lifting up your chest. Exhale, down dog. Hip width apart with your feet, so not too wide unless you're told that this is the way that you need to be standing. Walk to the front end of your mat and forward fold. Inhale, lift up, high mountain. Going into our back bend, opening up. Squeezing shoulder blades together. Straighten your spine, gathering your palms, and lean forward. Gently go down. Walking your hands a little bit to the front end of your mat to keep your balance, and now left foot moves back. Again, call it airplane. Horizontal with that vertical. Sorry, I have no idea. Just do what I do. Arms out to the side. Woo. And some days it's just harder than other days. Arms out to the side like you have a balance stick in your hand. And then lower down, left foot on the mat. Your high lunge, crescent lunge, lower down. Aware that you don't arch your back, but try to squeeze your pelvic floor underneath yourself as best possible. Breathe. Gather in your palms, and then coming into a twist again. Of course, this side, this time the other way around. Almost everyone that teaches begin with this twist with their shoulders squeezed towards the ears. So try to push your shoulders down, palms engaged towards each other, and breath moving. Beautiful. Three-legged dog. Of course, it's right leg that lifts up this time. Hips closed, which means that your glutes are somewhat aligned there behind you. So you actually don't lift up your right leg as much as many people think they ought to. And lower down your foot on the ground. Vinyasa, or stay here in downward facing dog. If you do a vinyasa, plank. Exhale, lower down gently. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Or if you want to use a lot of energy, stay in a down dog. But I'm going to ask you a question, so it might be hard to think about things in down dog. But what just at this moment, this time, gives you joy and happiness? Is it a person? Something outside? Your faith? What at this time, with what's happening now, gives you joy? If you're ready, let your palms face the mat, lift up to your down dog. Jump or walk to the front end of your mat yet again. Coming down to your forward fold, maybe straightening out your legs. You can take a hold, you're going to take a few breaths here. And vertebrae by vertebrae, coming into standing pose or mountain pose. Repeating those poses that we have been in, but with less pace or a little bit faster, not that it's fast. Inhale, take your arms up, and exhale, go for your back bend. Inhale, straighten your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift as you lift up your right leg. Kick your foot back, flex your foot, arms out to the side. One big breath here. Lowering down right leg, lunge pose, arms up. Lower down front leg, at least if you want to do some strength training today. Gather your palms, take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, go for your twist. And one breath here. Framing the foot with your hands. Kicking up left leg to what? To the ceiling. And this time, adding a new pose, bending your knees. Your knee. And open up your hip. Lift up your knee towards the ceiling. And stay here for a few breaths. If you want to go for a wild thing, this is just be one time. You might want to twist your foot back there and lift up. Moving back, three-legged dog with that hip opening, closing your hip. This is going to be very, very great. Left leg to your right knee plank. Lift up your leg underneath your belly. And then back with your left leg and take your foot to the front end of your mat yet again. Warrior 2, feet at least. So lower down the back foot, aligned with the short end of your mat. And then lift up right leg towards the sky. Now, if this is hard, you can always come up here. Thanking God for our breath. Warrior 2, like traditional warrior 2. Arms out, gaze towards the front hand, hips lowering down. Smile. Take your hands towards the sky. If you can look up, you're welcome to do that. Straighten your front leg and then lower it down, bending front knee. And again, arms out to the side. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, down. 1 more time. Beautiful. Arms out. Windmill your arms out. Lift back, heel up. Walk or jump to the front end of your mat. Forward fold. High mountain, inhale. Exhale, letting go, opening up. Straight spine, palms together, forward fold. Going into the left side. Half lift, the left leg kicks out, back, flexing your foot. Straighten both legs, arms out. And try to see if you can catch one big breath, round of breath. Before you find your crescent lunge or high lunge. Arms up towards the sky. Shoulders down. Palms together. Now notice where your shoulders are right now. Keep them there as you twist. Elbows out. Straighten out the back leg. Both hands again down on your mat. Right leg flies off the ground. Moving into your open hip pose. Bending your knees as much as you can. Heel towards the glutes. And lifting up that knee. And again, option of staying here or go for your, what I'm known as the wild thing, flipping back, lifting up, being vulnerable in a quite hard pose. Kicking yourself back, closing your hip, right knee underneath your belly to your left elbow, plank. Kicking a foot up, huge exhale, foot to the front end of your mat. Warrior 2, foot flexing and turning around the back foot. Right fingers, if you have a block, use it here. On the ground, inside or outside of that foot. Left arm up. Pushing back your shoulder a little bit. And then lifting into Warrior 2. Noticing if your heels are somewhat aligned. Now, if you have a tendency of really going for straight poses, relax your fingers just a little bit. And then with like soft arms, take a deep inhale, arms up, straighten front leg, and exhale, arms up to the side, bend your front knee. 2 more times, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and down, exhale. Move it to the front of your mat, making sure that Back heel is lifted. And coming to your forward fold. Letting go of your head, your neck. I talked to those who understand Danish yesterday about not just listening to your body, but speaking to your body. So right now you can also speak to your body, saying, yes, I want to focus on what I think also is joyful. I don't want to be taken captive, if that's the case with you, of worries and anxieties. I want to let go. Take captive of those thoughts of also joy. So you're not all in black and a dark place, okay? There is room for you. God is also watching you and taking care of you. Take your arms up and out. And exhale, back bend. Last time. Inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale, right leg up. Kick it back, airplane. Take a breath, and when you're ready, lower down, high lunge. Left leg front, right leg back. Palms together. Go for your twist. One big breath, straighten out back leg, lifting up your heel. All right, framing your foot, front foot moves up and back, bending your knees, maybe not going into a wild thing right now. Closing your hip, inhale. Left leg, right elbow, exhale. Lifting up your leg again, inhale. Move it to the front end of your mat, exhale. Warrior 2, feet, heels aligned. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, stay there. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, getting there. One big inhale, arms out, straighten front leg. And exhale, arms out. Awesome. Straighten front leg, going into a little bit of a stretch, you would say, triangle pose. Twist or take your hip a little bit back and lean forward. Now, if you feel this more here in the front leg, bend your knee a little bit. But try to go for straight knees. You don't have to touch the floor. A lot of people feel like they have to, but don't. Rather maybe going for looking up, trying to find balance. Beautiful. Hands down the ground. Front foot moves in, wide stand, and even go for a little bit wider. You can walk or jump your feet a little bit out. And then top of your head down towards the mat. Now, if you're used to doing a headstand, and I don't know if I should do this, but I don't want to show off or anything. It's just that it's really cool. Try to see if you can find your headstand going from here. If not, just stay there in your position your wide stand. All right, coming down if you're in headstand. Just getting up, moving your hands to the front end of your mat, stepping to the front end of your mat. Forward folds. Relax your legs if you need to. Inhale, up with your hands, and exhale, back bending. Inhale, palms meet. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Left leg moves up. Kicking it back, lift up your chest a little bit. Woo. And arms out to the side if you can keep your balance now. Lower down your foot and arms up. Now I can hear maybe an alarm going off. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. But think and hope someone else is taking care of it. Palms together and then go for your twist. Breathing. Ready? Framing your foot, right leg moves up. Bending your knee, opening up your hip.
Closing your hip, deep inhale, and as you do your exhale, plank, left elbow. Inhale, lift it up. That foot, and step it to the front end of your mat. Warrior 2 foot. Right arm stays down or fingertips on the floor, left arm up. Warrior 2, lifting up and finding your best version of Warrior 2. Taking an inhale, arms up, straightening front leg, lowering down, exhale. Straightening front leg again, triangle pose. And then lean forward with your hips still aligned with your heels, not pushing your hip out. Gaze up or down. Stay here for a few breaths. And not finding white stance right now. Lifting up, back heel, finding child's pose. Get some distance in between your knees. It's just nicer to have that space. Forehead on the ground, hands towards the front. Breathe. Now whatever happens, there is still beautiful mornings that God has given us. Sunshine. Beautiful sunsets. There is still spring coming. Summer. There is still love in your heart and other people's hearts. And you are still worthy. You are still you. Never alone. Lift up and gently come to the back. Happy baby, of course, now that the theme is a little bit about joy and happiness. So bend your knees, flex your feet, and then take your knees out to the side. This is a strange pose, and if you'll laugh, please do so. Hands inside your knees, and then you can take a hold of your feet. Now they might be quite high. Take a hold of your feet with the outer edge of your feet. Pull your feet down, and with your elbows, pull your knees out. Try not to lift your back. Lower your back down. So you will feel something on the back here, and maybe on the inner thigh as well. Deep breath. You can even close your eyes. If you like swaying from side to side, you're welcome to do that. Let go. Release your legs towards the sky. Straighten out your legs. Take your arms up and go for as long as a stretch as you can. Just for a few seconds here. You are taller, longer than you might think you are. Can endure more than you might think you can. So keep up. Joyful, happy spirits. Okay, arms down to the side. Shavasana, it's called a resting pose, corpse pose. Feet a little bit out, hands down on the ground with your pinky fingers pointing towards your thighs. With your eyes gently closed and your face relaxed. This will be the last few minutes. Try to picture One of those places in nature where you feel most happy, most joyful, where there is most happiness for you. Is there any place you've been in nature that speaks that happiness and joy to you? Try to picture that place, whatever it looks like, in your mind. Sounds, smells, and maybe at that place you picture how God created that place, how He smiled with joy together with you. And sometimes if you feel like it's getting really dark around you, you might come back to that place in your mind. Or even come back to God's promises that He will never leave us, never abandon us. I will encourage you to stay here on your mat and relax if you can for a few more minutes. I will stop the live session as such. Looking forward to seeing at least Danish-speaking people, or everyone is welcome, tomorrow. And then Friday I will be teaching in English again. More information on CrossYoga. I pray that God's peace will be in your body, soul, and mind. From my heart to your heart, thank you so much for joining me today.